So Mark Wiggins is a motivational speaker. He's a corporate executive and author. He's a business leadership skills, which were developed during his ownership of a Cookie by Design franchise store in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area from 1994 to 2001. Mark has worked in the Fortune 500 companies such as Eddie Vero, Levi Strauss & Co., and Blockbuster. His unique blend of humor, passion, and life experience allows him to deliver captivating motivational speeches designed to increase human performances. Mark speaks nationally to diverse groups ranging from high school students to corporate executives all over the country. This opportunity allows him to speak about MTXE, his formula for success. His goal as a motivational speaker is to move you from the bench to the starting lineup of life. For additional information and to contact him, Mark Wiggins, go to his website, www.markthespeakerman.com. Here he is.
Thank you. You're so sweet. That was really good. She said she was really nervous when she started. I'm like, well, you'll be fine. You didn't even read what you had on your paper. That's why I don't carry any papers, because you're not going to read it anyway. I'm Mark Wiggins. I'm your speaker for tonight. And my job really is to provide some encouragement for those who are in the TRIO program and listening as you continue on with your journey to where you need to go. So I got a couple of questions before I get started, because I always like to take a poll of what's going on. How many of you right now knew somebody who said you weren't going to make it? How many of you know somebody who said you just absolutely nuts for even trying to do that? You've got other responsibilities to take care of. We need you to be here. We need you to be there. Why are you even over there at Montgomery College? What are you doing? Where are those people at right now? Where are the people in the past who said to you, you're not going to make it, you're not going to do anything well? Why are they trying to hold you down? And if they're not here tonight to support you, then guess where they should stay? Away from you. There's too much going on in your life, too much positivity that you started something that has to go forward, that you can't spend a lot of time with people that want to hold you back. And it's not a mean thing or a bad thing, it's a you thing. Because you've given so much of yourself to this process, to trying to better yourself. You know, I read the thing about the TRIO and first generation students who go into school and people who need help trying to get to school. You took a major, major step in trying to go and achieve something that someone has not done in your family. That someone has not done that you know, a close friend, a relative. You left your country, you're here, and now all of a sudden you've got to go trying to find your way in a culture you may not even know too well. Assimilate, try to speak, talk, and all that kind of stuff, and still try to focus because we know you're smart. We know this, but trying to get it out has been the struggle. There's a lot of pressure, maybe, from your family. You got to make it. You have to make it. Well, why I got to do it? Why didn't you do it? Well, if they could have done it, they would have, because they spent a lot of time pouring into you so you can go do. My dad always says, your job in life is to do more than I did while I was alive. That is your job as a parent. My job is to make ways for you, sacrifices, put you in place, open doors, and do whatever's necessary so your generation will go a tad bit further than I did. And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't really get all that. My dad told me that I was 18. I came out of high school, got a scholarship to go play basketball in Huntsville, Alabama. Played all 5 years there. He kept saying that over and over again, over and over again. You got to go further than I did. You got to do more than I did. It's okay to be better than Dad because you know what? The bar set pretty high. Now go get it. Wow. A lot of pressure. But this pressure is good. Now, if you were paying any attention to the NBA playoffs, which are on tonight, and LeBron, bless his heart, Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm rooting for him. But you know what? They did a little information on Cleveland and LeBron, and they started bringing on pastors and business people talking about he's the chosen one. He's going to save the city. He's raised the economic level downtown where people are now spending money downtown, and everything is just wonderful and gravy. But in 2010, there's fear he may leave to go somewhere else to play. So everybody's wondering, if LeBron leaves Cleveland, then what happens to Cleveland? Will we fold over once more? Cleveland sports are not always the best. We've got a lot of almost situations if you follow sports ball. It's okay though. So LeBron's got all this pressure from everybody, his friends, his family, Wall Street, Main Street. Everybody wants to know, what are you going to do next and how are you going to do it? And LeBron just simply said, I'm going to just go perform. That's not my issue. My issue is to do the best I can possibly do for my team at this moment in this time. Performing is what you're supposed to be doing. It is part of your responsibility to take on some of the past of your family and say, you know what, I'm carrying the mantle, but it's not your total responsibility. Your responsibility is to do the best that you can possibly do. Where that ends or where that goes is totally up to you. You set your goals low, you set your goals high, but you need to set some goals and move forward. I was here this summer, we talked about setting SMART goals. We talked about specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, time-bound goals. You just don't want to wander aimlessly. So as we deal with this pressure of doing whatever, I came up with this thought. Erica, this came to me. I was driving and thinking, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. Here's the answer to your pressure. You are the sum total of everything behind you and the beginning of the equation to everything in front of you. Now work with that one. You are the sum total of your history, everything behind you, every sacrifice made, every shoes bought, every no, every yes, everything that you were about made you sit here today. But that being said, somebody's watching you. There's somebody behind you right now saying, I didn't think it could be done until she did. I didn't know I had the ability in it to be smart until he did it. And now that I've seen the model, now that I've seen the ups and the downs and some of the traps that you may fall into as a college student, it is now not abnormal to go to college. It's just the way of life. You're supposed to be. And I deal with a lot of young people across the country, and I try to get them on the college campuses as much as I can. I take my kids with me on college campus because I don't want them to ever feel that they don't belong. When they go to college campus, it's like, we belong here. Where's the bookstore? Where's the candy machine? And how long you going to be, Daddy, so we can go? That's what they want to know. But it's not foreign to them. They've been on about 15, 20 different college campuses across the country at 12 and 10. The expectation at my house is that they will go even further. So when you take this with you and you try to process out it, what have I done? My accomplishments, are they really that good? Yes. Please do not take lightly what you've done. A lot of times, and I talk about this in one of my CDs back there, conditioning your mind for success. One of the issues that people who struggle with success is that they forget what success looks like. You don't necessarily put turning in the term paper on time as being successful. You would not necessarily categorize catching the bus when you didn't know how to do it, running the subway, getting there on time, sitting down and being in place as successful. But I'm telling you it is, because it's all part of the process. If you look back over your time in Trio, whether you're coming in currently or you're transferring out, you got your degree, look at what you've already accomplished. Take a minute and write it down. You'll be amazed at what you find as being successful. That's what I'm talking about. Don't forget what you've done, because it's not a small task. Take the same base principles and apply it to whatever you go do next, because it really is about a formula. It's about trying to find your way and doing what's best. Now, people always say, and I had this question, I was having to struggle, who is they? And my other part of the question, why do they always get say-so in what we do? You can't identify they. If I ask you right now, give me 10 people that are they. I don't know, but they always say that. Well, young people and everybody, let me just caution you into the they zone. If you give yourself away to what they say, you allow them the ability to, if you allow them the ability to define your success, you give them an open door to define your failures. Think about that. If they said I was good doing this, and the minute you do that, they go, that wasn't good enough. Well, now I failed. Failure is part of learning. Here's the story for you. I used to own 2 cookie stores in the DC metropolitan area. Our second store was actually, ironically, at Winter Green Plaza down on Rockville Pike. I wasn't there too long. But we recognized that maybe we overextended ourselves a little too fast. Business was not doing what it should do. And I was faced with a decision. I was sitting in my store, struggling, saying, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm 28 years old. I got a $500,000 business in cookie dough, and I've got to make a decision whether to fire folks, shut down, move on, fold back. Nobody taught me about this. I was a psychology communications major. There was really no business class that I ever took, which just goes to say you can do whatever you want to. I don't care what the paper says. You can do whatever you want to do. And so I'm sitting here with this decision to make. And so I picked up the phone. I called my dad. I always call Pops. I said, Pop, I got to make a tough choice. I got to close down. My dad goes, oh, okay. So how you feeling? I'm okay. All right, I'm gonna try to keep it together. He says, oh, okay, great. Well, so what are you gonna do next? I don't know. Is Mama home? What's up, Mom? Okay, well, let's make this real quick because I'm watching the game. Let me ask you a quick question. He goes, son, do you feel like a failure? Yes, I do. He goes, well, take this with you because I got to go. You've only failed if you don't take anything from what you learned. You only fail if you don't take anything from what you learn. If you walk out of this business right now and don't recognize the mistakes, the shortcomings, where you're wrong, where they were wrong, and how to make it better, then and only then have you failed. See, a setback is really a setup for a comeback. Only in not doing well and setting back and falling down do you recognize where you're weak, where you're strong, and where you need to build up and keep it going. You have a lot of things you've got to overcome. Doesn't mean that you're any less than anyone else. So I took that lesson and said, well, I did learn a lot. I knew more by 28 about opening a business, opening a second business, shutting down a business, and keeping it moving than anybody in my age bracket. I knew more about that at 28 than I would have ever learned in the classroom. Now, it was a very expensive lesson, but nonetheless, one I learned. That allows me now to do business better, to consult people. People still ask me about, I want to start my own business, and I'm like, whoo, I have flashbacks. But even at that rate, I want to go do my own thing. I'm saying this to say, even in the struggles that you had here at Montgomery College, there will be more. It's not going to get any easier. But would you want it to be? Don't you want to be tested? Don't you want to find out what you're made of? Because see, again, because you're the sum total of an equation, there's a whole lot in you that you haven't even seen yet. There's a lot that comes out of you only when the pressure's on that you recognize how great you really are, how great you can really be. This is a great opportunity for you. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story about persistence, sticking to it, and how to make that happen. I'll leave you with my formula for success. I'll tell you a little story about a young man. There was a story about a young man who was a track star. He was a multi-sport track star. And it was a rainy day, and he had qualified already to run, to go to regionals in the high jump and the pole vault. And he was working on the long jump and the triple jump. It had been raining. The runway was wet, the board was wet. Sitting in the van, the young fellow was determined that he didn't know what to do. Should I run? Should I not do it? Everybody was like, dude, don't even worry about it. Don't even jump. Guy was like, no, I'm a competitor. I need to go out and I need to do what I need to do. So he gets out there on the mark. Runs down the board, gets down to the board, falls. He falls it the first time. Went back inside, waited his turn again, started raining. They're like, don't do it, just don't do it. But no, he wanted to go one more time. Runs down the board again, falls. That's 2. He's qualified in 2 other sports, 2 other events. What's the third one? Why should he go? He's a competitor, he has to go. He must compete. He gets on the line. He steps on the line, gets in position. Y'all watch track on the ESPN? Y'all watch them when they get ready? They start rocking. They lean back, and then they take off. And so young fella takes off down the runway. He's ready to go, he's ready to go. Now, if you know anything about track, you know anything about running, there's a couple things you never do. One is you never stutter step. If you don't have it, you just don't have it. Pull up, jump, do whatever. Well, the young man stutter stepped to get his steps right. So he stuttered, and then he had to compensate because he was too short. He reached out with his one foot, hit the board, Foot went this way, click caught. Knee went that way, he went that way, spun around, hit the sand. And while I laid there in the sand, looking up at my short comedic life, it was over. I ain't gonna play ball. I don't know if I can walk again. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is not a good situation. But here's what I do know. See, I had just signed my letter of intent about a week earlier. I was going to graduate. I'm going to college regardless. I had to go to prom on crutches and morphine. They told me I had a real good time. It's been 20-some odd years and they're still talking about what happened at prom. I'm like, I don't know what you're referring to. I got to graduation. W, because you know where I was at, right in the back. Oh, Mark, no, get up. We'll bring your diploma. I said, no, you won't. And it takes me 45 minutes to creep up to the stage. Grandmama, mama, and all of them gonna see me get this diploma. And that's exactly what I did. I got the diploma, walked across the stage, spent my summer doing rehab. Painful. Everybody's laughing, having a good time, going to the park, doing this, the other. Matter of fact, the young lady I went with, I bought tickets to the little amusement park and everything. She took somebody else. And to this day, she still hadn't paid me back. I'm not bitter about it, it's okay. So I spent my time getting ready to go off to college. My goal was to walk without crutches when I went to college. I spent all summer doing rehab, bending my knees, snapping, crackle, popping, up, down, doing whatever, getting ready to go. Until the day that my dad said it's time to get in the car to go to Alabama. So we jump in the car and we go to Alabama. And I got my crutches with me or whatever, and I get to the campus. And he was like, well, what you gonna do? I said, what you mean? He said, you said that you was gonna walk on this campus without crutches. What you gonna do? I got out of the car, I had my brace on. I grabbed my crutch, and for some, I don't know where it came from, I just grabbed that crutch, I snapped that thing in half and threw it down. And my dad goes, hey, I just got a refund for those. Why'd you break my crutches? I was like, yeah, that's typical. But then I started my rehab program. Had a great coach, had a great trainer, Janet Passett. I still remember her. Anybody who puts pain on your life, you remember. She hurt me bad, but it was for my own good. So then we started to condition. I got a great new assistant coach named Michael Scarano, and we did a lot of running. We did a lot of running down at Alabama Heat. And one particular day, we decided to run down to this place called The Hill. It was probably, looked like about 20 miles from the school, but it was about 2. We get to the hill, and it was up real high one side and down the other side, and our job was to run to the top of the hill. And coach says, all right, get on the line, let's run up the hill, get through the line over here. Okay, this is the line right here. So he says, run through the line. So we get on the line, ready to go. I was like 18, I was ready to go. Go, so we run up the hill, there's the line, we get to the line, whoo, all right, whoo. Not good enough, go back down. What? So we go back down to the bottom of the hill, we do it again. Get to the top, get to the line, close up. All right, we made it. Not good enough, do it again. 15 times later, we're still trying to run. We had mad, calling each other out. The clock had stopped. And so we said, I need you to run through the line. Let's go, run through the line. So finally, 16, 17 times, out in this Alabama Heat, we get it. We run, even the slowest person ran, like this is the line right here, and we kept running all the way through the line. That was the instruction, was it not? Run through the line, not stop short, not ease up, not stand on it, but all the way through the line. Much like you started right now. You've got your associates, you're getting your associates. Ladies and gentlemen, the line is not crossed yet. You're right at it, but you must continue and press on through the line. So while we're talking to the coach, he says, let me tell you something, young man. Let me give you something right now to help you be successful. He says, MTXE. That's it. Mental toughness with extreme effort is the formula for success. Mental toughness with extreme effort is the formula for success. I'm going to give you my 4 letters, and I'm going to get out of your way. M is the first letter. It stands for mental. This is the goal-setting phase. This is where you make your dreams come true. When someone says to you, that sounds crazy, you know what? That's your dream. My dreams are just as stupid as yours. What that means is that no matter what I feel is crazy, because I won't tell nobody, if I were to talk to you for about 5 good minutes, you've got something just as crazy on your mind as I do. But it's my dream. I'm going to do what I want to do. Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve in life? How are you going to get there? Who's going to go along with you? Who are you leaving behind? Those are your goals. That's your goal. That's the mental portion. We're going to decide where we want to go. The T is for toughness. Now, I'm not talking mixed martial arts type toughness. That's just insanity. I'm not going to let anybody beat me up and me tap out somewhere. That's just not going to happen. I'm talking about a tenacity, an unwillingness to quit. Never saying no, taking all the haters and putting them off to the side and going for a goal that I have set to go get. You've done that. The tenacity portion. Don't ever give up. The X stands for extreme. Now, extreme is something that you normally don't do. It is outside the realm of what you normally do. Doing 360s on snowmobiles is not a normal act, unless you're in the X Games. You gotta do those things. 720s, 930s, whatever they're doing now, that is extreme. On a continuum, there's regular, there's okay, and then there's extreme. If studying for you is an extreme act, then that's what you need to do. Extreme is beyond where you normally are, kind of out of your comfort zone. So far we got mental, toughness, and we got extreme. The last letter is E, and that stands for effort. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what you dream to do. I don't care where you aspire to go. If you don't get up and start moving towards your goal, it's not going to happen. If you do not get off the bench and get into the starting lineup of life, which is one of my mottos, it will not happen for you. Effort means studying late. Effort means getting involved with the TRIO program, getting tools in your toolbox, or on interview day, you can press somebody and show them what you've been involved in, what you've done, and how you did it, and you got skills, and that's why they need to hire you. That's effort. You just cannot sit around and wait for it to come to you. It's just not going to go. So, mental toughness with extreme effort is the formula for success. TRIO class, it's been my honor to talk to you today. Erica, thank you for inviting me. Good luck to you in whatever you want to do. Peace and blessings to you.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggins. Before we sit down to have dinner, yeah, a little present.
Mark, test this works. All right. In great appreciation of your participation as a keynote speaker at the 4th Annual End of Year Award Banquet for the Student Support Services TRIO program at Montgomery College, Rockville campus. Thank you very much. So we eating? We eating?
Yes. I would be remiss to not mention this, and I definitely do apologize. I would like to recognize the wonderful staff and administration and faculty that we have with us today, who, without all of their hard work and their enormous amounts of energy and teamwork, we wouldn't have had such a great, successful year. So I would like to recognize and thank Dean Monica Brown for being here today. Thank you. And Jacqueline Lynch, who is in financial aid office, and I believe you were my first friend that I made here. So thank you. Sheila Perkins as well from the financial aid office. And Ms. Brenda Grisham as well from financial aid office. All our financial aid with the Student Support Services TRIO program, we also have very wonderful, kind people who volunteer their time to help our students with their English and their math. And I would like to recognize those people here today as well. We have Ellen Olmstead, who is our English tutor here. Our students are very, very happy to have you, and you're awesome. And Taib. Taib is our wonderful math tutor, who got all our kids through math, so that's awesome. I hope I'm not missing that. Sir, if you would like.
Oh, doing it at my table? Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll start at this end for the students. Okay, thank you. Help yourself. We'll start that.
That is what it's supposed to do. No, that's ever not bad. Have a chance. Yeah, just like, oh wow.
Yeah, you can call right now. Yeah. Check it out later. Whatever.